Live from the heart of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching, and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live? Like never before. Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
Need a professional space to bring your vision to life? Dominion Television Studios offers state-of-the-art facilities perfect for your next broadcast, commercial, corporate video, or live event. With flexible rental options, cutting-edge equipment, and a supportive team, we provide the perfect environment for high-quality productions. Unleash your creativity. For bookings, email us at marketing@dominion.org.ng. Call us on 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok @Dominion Broadcast and on X @DominionCast. Book your space today. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
Another beautiful morning to talk sports right here on Dominion Television, your channel of choice. This is Dominion Sport. I am Paul Abe Toluwanimi and we'll be looking at the local stories this wonderful morning. Also remember the UEFA Champions League is still very much ongoing, and Tuesday, Wednesday action was packed up with goals and thrills and entertainment, and today promises to live up to expectation. Also we'll be looking at the Super Eagles of Nigeria. We'll be looking at the local stories like I said, and also we'll be looking at the World Athletics competition happening in Tokyo. One man is breaking the record. All this and more on the show this wonderful morning. I have Samson Balogun with me this wonderful morning. He's back on the show. Yes, the man with expert analysis and undiluted reporter. Yes, he's an expert in that. Good morning to you, Samson.
Well, a beautiful morning to you, Tolu. And
it feels good to be back.
To our esteemed viewers viewers out there. It feels good to be back to Talk Sport. This is what we do. We give you unbiased analysis and most definitely undiluted reports.
And I'm sure this morning you'll be giving unbiased analysis on the game between Chelsea and Bayern.
Absolutely. You know, it's that's why, you know, as an analyst, regardless of what kind of soft spot you have for anything,
emotions
you just have to be spot on when it comes to, you know, giving your verdict. So regardless of the situation, you know. It doesn't matter. See, football is about three things, as I always say. You win, you lose, or you draw. So it depends on how prepared you are. And even sometimes you are well prepared and you still meet a team that happens to be more prepared than you are. Yeah. And maybe have a little bit more resources, or there are other things that works to their advantage. So it's not rocket science. It is football, it is sport, and you don't win all the time.
All right. That's the update. I don't know why Folayegbe is honestly excited about this morning.
You know, there's no way Manchester United fan, with that kind of team in average, in charge, so you don't expect them to feel.
But hold on. But over this week we got a report that revenue-wise, Manchester United, got so much, when it comes to financial.
Yes, they still run at loss. They still lost about 30 million. So regardless of the situation, you have made money, but you still lost. So you have made money. You have not even broken even. If this is truly business, you break even and then think of profit. So they did not break even, regardless of how much you thought they made. They did not make profit.
But we're not running bankrupt.
And yet, even at that, they kept losing games. They kept losing games that they were losing a pack of biscuits. So
okay, hold on, guys, hold on. So today's not about Manchester
United. Do you know they have a coach that has never won 2 games back to back?
Oh, please.
I mean,
whatever.
All right, guys. Let's
put some icing on Enzo Maresca's cake.
Yeah, I get that. Also, I get that. Fola, please, can we do an introduction for you? Fola, good morning to you. It's good to see you on the show again. Welcome back.
It's good to see you, and it's good to not be my day today. It's good to be your day today. Thank you.
You see, we
are not. No, hold on. So we are not saying anything now. I just wanted the introduction. So we are not. For now, we are not saying anything. Let's get to the case of Chelsea and Bayern. We'll get to that and we'll see. But for now, Samson Balogun, we're not saying anything. Like the sporting family, you know how we do it on the show. We start from the local front, and Eyimba received a major injury boost ahead of the Bendel Insurance clash over the weekend. Eyimba have been handed a significant lift ahead of the Nigerian Premier League football match day 5 encounter against Bendel Insurance. The People's Elephant welcome back 5 key players from injury, including goalkeeper Nathaniel Azebi, winger Ekene Awaz, 9-time MPFL champions during the last transfer window, is yet to make his field debut for the club. Their return comes as a welcome news for head coach Stanley Oguma, whose side is needing to build up last weekend impressive away victory over Bayelsa United. Eyimba have collapsed 8 points. Have collected 8 points from their opening 4 fixtures this season, and will look to extend their good run when they host Bendel Insurance at the Eyimba International Stadium in Aba on Sunday. Something there you have it, a big boost for Eyimba. Look at the form they are this season. I'm sure this will give them a good drive ahead of the clash against Bendel Insurance.
You know, nothing gives you more joy than having your best legs available, especially when they have been out with injuries and then they are suddenly back. Well, they are back on paper. Yes, they are readily available for the coach to pick from. But the truth of the matter is, are they fit to be on the field? It's one thing to be back from injuries. The other thing to have the match fitness to be on the field of play. So I know that for the next few days, the management of Eyimba Football Club will be looking at these players closely to see how fit they are, and then if they can easily walk into the starting 11 and start making the difference they are meant to make in the team. So let's just keep all fingers crossed and see if they are fit. They will be playing Bendel Insurance, and this season Bendel Insurance has been, able to fashion a way out and modeled their play around that of Stoke City when Roddy Delap was still, a part of the team. They have benefited so much from throw-ins this season. The long throw-in has been one of their key, and they have this with Kayode Oke, former Shooting Stars marksman in the team. They have been able to fashion a way to play with throw-ins, and then most definitely they have this area presence in the opposition box. So it has. So let's just hope that Eyimba has what it takes in their arsenal, especially with their players back, to stop Bendel Insurance from wreaking more havoc from throw-ins this season. I do know that before the season runs out, some of these teams will unlock Bendel Insurance, and then that throwing prowess might just not work all through the season.
All right. Yesterday, Samson and Fola, I had Samuel Akintunde on the show, and also LeBron, joining us from Lagos, and we looked at NNL situation where we have it that now we're not going to have the Super 8 again. It's just going to be you qualifying from your group at this point in time. And when you look at the teams in the NNL, you're wondering what's happening. How do we get through this? You have Atland, you have Beyond Limits. I'm trying to remember names around. We have so many clubs, who are major teams in the NPFL are vying for the spot for next season. But at this point in time, you just have one team qualifying from each group to the NPFL. And now Atlanta, coach is speaking, as Emmanuel Amunike is speaking, and he's saying that the relegated Nigerian National League last season, Atlanta will feature in Southwestern Conference Group A alongside Crown FC, Eden FC, Sunshine Stars, E-Ward, Inter-Lagos, Smart City, Gotula Pabio, Abia Comet, and Beyond Limit. Only the team that finishes top of the group will gain automatic promotion to the elite division. Amunike, expressed confidence in his squad ability to outshine their rivals. We have been waiting for the draw, and since June, and when we started rebuilding the team, we have prepared ourselves to compete. It's a welcome development, and we respect all the teams in our group because they have earned their place into the club media. So that's what Coach Amunike said. For you, let me start with Fola. Now, the new development, NNL, now we have the new development saying we're not going to have the Super 8 again, we're not going back to the Super 8. So it's just like you need to qualify. You need to pick up all major points for you to get your ticket into the NPFL season. Now, here is Atland, one of the top clubs, in Nigerian Football League, also are vying for a spot in the NNL. And you look at their group where you have Crown FC of Ogbomoso, we have Eden FC, we have Sunshine Stars, we have Ward FC, we have Inter-Lagos, we have Smart City, we have Gotula Pabio. And you look at this team, how do you, with the experience of Coach Amunike, how do you see Atlanta this season, fight for, the ticket to the NPFL?
With his experience, I think they have it. They have a chance.
Okay.
But as I always say, I've always said, don't underestimate. But with the kind of teams in their group, yeah. I don't think it will be just a walk.
No, it can be a walk in the park. It can be a walk in the park.
But I'm hoping for the best for them.
Something for you, like we said yesterday, the visibility of the team. I mean, of the league this season. I think. I don't know how that will help, the NNL this season. But quick one before that, let's talk about Amunike, then we go to that story. For you, how do you think Atland can progress with this, Group A team in their group? How do you see them progress ahead of, tickets for the NPF for next season?
Well, there are a lot of really good teams in that, of course, group. And most definitely, you look at them, you see some of the household names who used to be household names in the NPFL, now back there. Yes, Crown Football Club also from Oyo State, of Ogbomoso, also in that group. Oshun, so they also have a team,
Sunshine Stars, Inter-Lagos, Smart City,
Inter-Lagos, one of
Pabio.
the 3 Lagos teams that have been doing so well, Inter-Lagos, Sporting Lagos, and of
Beyond
course Ikorodu City, and Beyond Limits too. So these are teams that, you can't really say, oh, a team will just come because, you used to be in the NPFL. That's history. You have to prove it now that you deserve to be there. Yeah. But I think it will be. Initially, I am one of the, as interesting as the Super 8 used to be. I'm one of the advocates that said, look, this is a total waste of time, total waste of resources, and then it's more or less like you disenfranchising some teams from qualifying for the league when they did so well, probably finished first in their group, and then you subject them to the Super 8. Eventually, they can't make it, and then you get the ticket to promoting to the NPFL. So, I'm not a fan of the Super 8. It doesn't happen for some teams. Some teams qualify automatically. Even in England, some teams will qualify automatically, and then the last 2 will have to slug it out for a place, which is understandable.
It's fair enough.
But why put the first, second teams to playoffs too? what if that is their bad day? That's their off time. So having spent all the season
to
prepare,
it's not the second team that did not do.
I mean,
get the ticket
as well as
for me, it doesn't
Yeah.
make sense. It doesn't. But now that this correction is being made, one thing I noticed is that this kind of announcement should have been made last season. That look, if you relegate this season, there is no Super 8 for you, even if you finish first, second, or third on your group. We are not going to Super 8. You are qualifying directly. So every team will be ready for all this. Now, when the season is about to start, there's an instruction.
It's when we are here to talk about the Super 8.
Now talking about it's more or less like you are putting them in a very tight situation. They are not prepared for this. But then, hey, this is the NPFL. This is what they want. This is the NNL, and most definitely this is what they want. So if you are promoting to the NPFL, you have to go through all the games and prepare really hard. Atlant is an household name. Emmanuel Amunike has been around for some time. Very experienced, understands football, and most definitely is going to be working with very young players in that team. And when you look at our energetic young players are, you would know that you can't just toy with those teams. Look at what Beyond Limits did last season. They qualified for the NPFL, but they could not play because Remo Stars is already in the NPFL, and these two teams are owned by the same owner.
Okay,
so you cannot play in the same league.
So quick one or something. So let me ask you now: if Beyond Limits now get a ticket, are they going to fall back? Are they going to fall short again of not getting a slot, for the NPFL? Because that's what it looks like.
They did last season. But they could not play. They had to give their, ticket out to another team. Yeah. So the thing is, I think that ticket was acquired by Bayelsa United or thereabout. One of the teams in the NPFL right now, newly promoted ones, actually acquired that ticket. I think there should be a situation where, we cancel the ability of teams to actually purchase tickets to play in the top tier league. Because if that is done, it promotes integrity, also promotes hard work. If you are not qualified to be there, you are not there. So don't bother playing. We have seen teams who actually get to be the whooping boys in the league just because they did not prepare. They just got the ticket, and then everyone begins to whitewash them, smashing them all around, taking points off them. Yes, it's good for some teams because at least they get 3 points. Regardless of how poor you are, you still know that there's a team out there that you are sure, this team is sure 100% 3 points. But you don't want to see that in a top league. There used to be a time also that there are some teams that will come into the EPL, they become the whipping boys, and then before you know it, they have shipped in about 50, 40 goals, and you are like, what exactly are you guys doing here? There was a time Chelsea defeated Wigan Athletic by 8-0, and other teams too. There were teams that were defeated 9-0, some 10, some 11, for example. And you'll be wondering, what exactly are you doing if you are not really prepared? Yes, I said it earlier, you can lose games, you can draw games, but losing scandalously in a top league, that doesn't make sense for me. Unless there are injuries and then your matches cannot be postponed. There used to be a time, I think I saw a match, that should be 2007 or 2008, Newcastle United lost about 7 players in a game to an injury. It was a common thing. They also had the same injury. That means it was a part of their routine or diet issue. And then they had to be substituted. But if that is the case, we would understand why you lost. But not when all your players are fit and you begin to lose scandalously to all the teams. So my point now is that there should be a level of integrity to how teams qualify for the NPFL.
Okay, so quick one, something. I get that part now. So my question now is, if Honorable Shiname, owns Remo Stars and also Beyond Limit. Now Beyond Limit also qualifying, and this time around again, he can't get the slot. With
you have to relinquish. There are two options.
So I want to ask now: is it that can't he give the club to another ownership?
That's what I'm saying. There are two options. Okay. One, you concede the ownership of the club to another owner. And when another owner takes over, you will be able to field these two teams in the same league. Yeah. But the truth is, will Kole Shoname be able to release Beyond Limit? I don't think so. Because Beyond Limit happens to be their money-making machine. Majority of the players you see at Beyond Limit, they are harvested every season. Some of them get to play for Remo Stars, and some of them are farmed abroad. We have seen Kole Shoname selling players to Portuguese league, even to the Brazilian league where they produce the best products in the world.
I agree with you.
That tells you that he makes money off that team. I don't think Kole Shoname will sell that team to anybody. Now, as the case stands, if I just concede, the larger percentage of that team to someone, maybe about 90 or 95%, that means you don't really have a stake in that team. And that still gives you an edge for that team to participate in the,
But now the question now is, if they now face each other in the league, then you begin to wonder the integrity of how the game is going to be
That's
played.
exactly why the league will not allow you own two
own
teams
two
in the
teams,
same league.
yeah.
It has happened before. There was a time OGC Nice was to qualify for the UEFA Champions League, and then Chelsea was also going to play in the UEFA Champions League. And even before the qualification, they were already saying, look, if so team qualifies for the UEFA Champions League and Chelsea qualifies, one of the teams will have to drop. And it also happened to, Manchester City. I think last season or 2 seasons ago, Girona was to qualify for the UEFA Champions League.
Yeah.
Manchester City was to play in the UEFA Champions League. And they were saying, look, you cannot have two teams in the same group. What if you appeared in the same group and you have to face off? Manchester City will be needing all 3 points. Of course, natural instinct says, "Oh, give you all the 3 points to Manchester City."
Yeah.
So it's just normal. So you see, it's there are things beyond your control. Even common sense will tell you this is what we have to do, especially when you are in a position to compromise. So at this time, I think if that is the case in the NPFL, Kunle Shonamen knows exactly what he's doing. We have seen teams who have continued to play in the. It is happening in Oyo State too now. Crown FC has been in the Division 2 for
for a long time.
The only time they got to play in the NPFL was when Shooting Stars also got relegated. Crown FC qualified and they played. Now Crown FC has been there. In fact,
they even got to the Super 8 also.
They got into the Super 8. They did. But we all know that even if they qualified, they would not be able to play. So that's a challenge. And when that happened, we were talking about Oyo State government considering one of these two teams to private ownership.
Yeah.
But it did not happen, and it's going to be an issue of a merry-go-rounding. To just continue to
keep going round
in the same circle. Crown FC will continue to try. Beyond Limits will continue to try. And when they try, eventually they cannot play in the league. What is the fate of all these players?
So my question, that's my question. Exactly. So what's the fate of the players? So why are we trying when we know that at the end of the day, when we get the ticket, we are not going anywhere. We still remain in the same. So what's the best thing we can do? Is my so Samson, to be very honest, I've been wondering as a player. So I'm putting my all for all the games. We're getting the point. At the end of the day, yes, we were getting the ticket, and we can't make the NPFL because this is the situation where we are. So what do we do? Should we just disband the team and let another person? Because at the end of the day, like you said, if at the end of the day we switch ownership to another person, it still shows that a particular percentage is of certainty that when we play each other, the point you want to share the point to
Most
me.
Definitely.
Come on.
You see,
the question, the
integrity of the league, come
you see, I think every team owner, I don't want to believe they are ignorant. I know they know the rules. They know what is at stake. Because if you are saying if we continue to hammer this, it will seem like they are ignorant of the rules.
They know what exactly.
They know. Kunle Shonamen knows this. Even if he did not know before then, someone must have briefed him, oh, chairman, this cannot happen, that cannot happen. And he knows, he's well aware. But the league management company will not tell you not to field two teams, especially in different divisions. But they know that when the time comes for these two teams to play in the same division, it is not possible. So at that time, if that is the case, it's either you have to concede the ownership of one team to another owner, and then there will be freedom, just like Girona was done at the time when they qualified for the UEFA Champions, and Manchester City was to play in the same competition. For Chelsea too, during the era of Roman Abramovich, he had about 3 or 4 teams around the world, had a team in Holland, had a team in the Spanish La Liga, had one in Russia. So there was a way things were done at the time, and then they did not flout any of these rules. And what they do, naturally, was to use some of these teams as dummy teams. They field some of their less fancied players in the biggest team. And then when they field you there, you get to play regular first team football, and then you ripe to a stage, then you are called back into the team or sell at a higher rate. That was the business Chelsea was doing during the era of Roman Abramovich. And I think, the current owners at Chelsea are also looking into that. You can see they are buying young players, and then they are being firmed out. And they have 8 years contract, 7 years contract. After you have signed that, they farm you out to a lowly team, and then when you get that visibility you deserve, they either sell or bring you back into the team. Look at McGee, who was sent to Sunderland. Something came up and then was recalled back to the team. This will be the continuous. At the point, some people reported Chelsea. Why keep so many players when you know only a handful of them will be able to make it into the first team? There are players who signed for Chelsea and never done the shirts. So it's just like that. But if we want to move forward, I think every owner should understand, and I think it's not a crime to have more than one team, especially when you are not running at a loss, because it's important for you to balance the books. So once you know you are not running at a loss, you have two teams, you know the rules. If they qualify for the same competition, only one of them will play, and then you have to concede the ticket for the other team to, of course, to another team. So definitely the chairmen of all clubs, they are aware of the rules. And let's see what happens. If Beyond Limit qualifies again, we'll see what will happen. And for Emmanuel Amunike, is a tactician who understands the job. He knows exactly what is needed of him at this time. Atlan Football Club is a very big team, and the people who are now being ably represented in the in the NPFL, as Kun Khalifat, took a giant step, a bold leap to be in the league. But people would want to see Atlan because that's the household name when it comes to football in Norway.
Atlan was also even very close to getting the ticket from Kun Khalifat.
They almost did that, but unfortunately did not happen. Let's now see when it is now the time to play and qualify solely, not because you are going to the Super 8. Let's see how many of these teams can stand up and rise to the occasion and qualify on their own.
All right, come on. We are discussing the NNL, and like I said yesterday, this is going to be a major focus right here on Dominion Sport on the show back to back, because right now there'll be so much visibility with the big teams right there in the NNL. Let's move away from that. Let's talk more stories from the local front, and let's look at the Super Eagles as they slip in 45th in the latest FIFA ranking aimed at the World Cup qualification struggle. Nigeria national team, the Super Eagles, have dropped one spot to 45th in the latest FIFA World Ranking, reflecting the ongoing struggles in the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualification campaign. The three African champions now face the serious prospect of missing out on a second World Cup appearance in 8 years, following a disappointing run of result in Group C of the African qualifiers. Earlier this month, Nigeria managed a narrow 1 win over Rwanda and secured 1-1 draw away to South Africa. However, those results were not enough to improve their standing in the group or in the global rankings. Currently third in their group with 11 points from 8 matches. Nigeria trail group leader South Africa by 6 points with only one top team from each group earning automatic qualification to the 2026 tournament in United States, Canada, and Mexico. The Super Eagles' path to the World Cup is now very narrow. To keep their qualification hope alive, Nigeria must win the last 2 games fixtures away to Lesotho and home against second place Benin Republic, scheduled for next month. For you, Samson, we have slipped already. I know there's not one thing you want to discuss this morning because we already know that defeat Benin Republic or Lesotho 39 goals to nil. It doesn't change the fact that qualification for the World Cup is not possible. But for you, having to slip to 45 in the latest ranking, what does it say about the Super Eagles of Nigeria quickly?
I think,
I don't know why Fola is laughing, but...
because I'm even thinking they're even being nice to us for putting on just one
point of losing
that.
I don't think anyone should be surprised by the recent slip by the Super Eagles. There used to be a time when we were fourth on the log.
In Africa?
Of course, most definitely.
Okay, I'll tell you about saying the word.
It's just a lot to handle for Nigerians to see that their team, their darling Super Eagles team, has declined over time. Now it's a case of survival for them. Let's first of all qualify for the World Cup and see how much points we can gather. Don't forget that these coefficients are derived from the number of games you played, how well you performed, how many of these games did you win, how many of them did you draw, and then how many did you lose. And then it also points to what are the quality of teams you played during that period and how did you fare against all these teams. So these are things that are put together to determine which are the best teams around the world. We have seen situations where Brazil was number 1 for so many months. We have seen situations where they were dislodged by Spain. Germany at the point was number 1.
Belgium was also making top spot right there.
So it's not like a team is fixed to be right there. As long as you are performing, you are playing A-class games. You can see when when we were talking sport, I think that was last week, you were talking about a recently scheduled friendly match between Nigeria and Venezuela.
Yeah,
I shook my head.
Yeah,
Of all the teams around the world, Venezuela. Where is Venezuela on the log? Way behind Nigeria when we talk about teams around the world. Why not play England? Why not play Portugal? Why not play Germany? Why not play Belgium? Why not play Spain? Why not play France? It's not about when you talk about friendlies, teams don't really choose who to play.
Yeah, true.
The transfer windows are open, and then there are no teams to fill it. And then once they get the proposal, Nigeria has written, just like, let's say a media house in Ibadan writes to Dominion, we want to play you in a friendly game. It's not like we're prepared to play any team. So if we want to play, we'll say, okay, no problem. It's approved. Let's do business. And Nigeria is one of the teams whose name around the world secures any kind of game you want to play. Talk about Brazil, talk about China, talk about all the big teams around the world. I mentioned China. They are a powerhouse.
I was about wondering if we're doing product business now.
Not in terms of this is not politics.
It's not even technical.
This is not politics. This is not politics. So basically, if you look at all the top teams around the world, if Nigeria writes to them, we want to play you,
they
would gladly.
Definitely.
But because when you play, see, there is too much corruption in the NFF.
Actually,
that they benefit when the team does not do well. Now, if you want to play against a team like Brazil, if they tell you these are the things you have to put in place, you do not compromise. Otherwise, they will walk away. But if you want to play Venezuela and Nigeria are the same WhatsApp group now. Venezuela, Nigeria, Jamaica, they are all in the same category. They understand corruption even way better than we do. So when you tell them, we are allocating 10 billion naira to execute this, nobody will give you this, and everybody will be on the same page. So if we can counsel and eradicate the word corruption from how we set things up, why would you want to play Venezuela when you can play top games and get better coefficients to rank well when we talk about FIFA ranking? True. Does anyone even think about how we rank around the world? I don't think they understand this. They don't know what it means.
Because if you're playing against Venezuela, it doesn't put you on a better ranking.
That's the point.
It does
now,
not.
If you, like, for instance, what this coefficient does is that one of the things it does is that when you qualify for the World Cup, the top ranked teams, they are seeded. So they are given weaker teams to play.
You agree.
Because you're already seeded. So weaker teams will be put in your place. But when you are not seeded, you will be subjected to play under the big teams.
That's why we see Nigeria always playing Argentina.
You will always be in the top group.
Argentina on a regular.
So that's the point. You will always be in a tough group. When you are seeded to the C or D category. So it means that the top teams will be in the 8th category. The other ones in the next category will be B and C, and then you are D. So it means that all the teams you are playing in that group, they are better than you. They will always give you a tough opponent. But if you are doing well, you have better coefficients, it puts you in a place where you also get teams that are weaker. And then you stand a chance of, why do Brazil win the World Cup? Because they are ranked high, and then in their group it is almost a stroll in the park. And when they get out there, they are most likely going to play the second team in another group, and then another stroll in the park. They play in the quarterfinal, semi-final, and then by that time the team had got
all the best teams are out already.
All the best teams are out, and they're most definitely the best. Your team begins to get into the game more or less like a league. We started wrong, but then we are getting better. The more you go further in the competition, the better your team becomes, unless in the case of Nigeria. When you see a quality performance in the group stage, and then when it's in the next phase, you see something different. Why did that happen in Cote d'Ivoire? When everyone was thinking, as Nigeria was able to escape the issue of our group phase, we are going in for the title, and then boom.
We're back to South Africa. We're facing Cote d'Ivoire again.
If we are not looking at, I think that's my own reasoning. I stand to be corrected. I don't think the NFF understands what this does.
So honestly speaking, most of them don't understand their job. When it comes to sport in Nigeria, and it's becoming a major problem. And we hope that they can wake up to reality and understand that they are putting sports in Nigeria to a backlag, and it's not helping at all. And we hope that things can be corrected as soon as possible. Let's move away from that right now, Fola. This is one of the top guns in the Super Falcons list. I'm talking about Super Falcons 4-time WAFCON winner. announced a retirement. A Super Falcons winner I'm talking about in the year 2010, 2014, 2016, and 2018. Onome AB has officially retired from football. AB, with illustrious playing career, spanned 22 years as a Super Falcons of Nigeria player, made a debut for the team on September the 20th, 2023. At 42 years of age, she was the longest serving player, either male or female, in Nigerian football, and the first African footballer, male or female, to play in 6 FIFA World Cup tournaments. I'm talking fantastic feat right there. In a post via official social media platform, she said, "Today," and I quote, "I officially retire from professional football. The journey has been filled with challenges, victories, and lessons that have shaped me into who I am today. Though I hang up my boots, my purpose in the game continues to give back, to guide, and to be a voice to the players." During her career, she made history as the first African woman to feature in 6 FIFA World Cup, and she was brought into the later stage of the Super Falcons' impressive victory over Australia on the 27th of July 2023. Fola, there you have Onome AB, hanging up the boots, illustrious career. Look at what she has done. She's saying at this point in time, I want to lend my voice to other players and give opportunities for young ones to come play for the Super Falcons of Nigeria. For you, how do you see, this retirement, and what does it bring, to the Super Falcons of Nigeria?
First of all, this woman has given her all for us, and she has given our all that has been productive to us. And in Nigerian football, the female and the male, I've always said these are our women, even though they have not been, when compared to the male team, even though they are not as funded as the male team, these women are so underestimated. They are under. They deserve more accolades than this. And this woman, she, for all these years she has been with us, and she has been productive for us. She has given us. She has not, we don't say, okay, she played today, and when they ask her what happened, and you're like, it's because they did not give us water to drink. That's why I did not know. She doesn't. They didn't do that, and she should be honored more.
More than this.
This.
I agree with you also. For you, Samson, Onome AB. Funny how I saw a comment, and I was not thinking. I think it's every time we start running, our fans corner right there. During the show, we just pop up to ask, maybe one of our presenters out there to ask to tell us what's happening right there on the streets of football, and they give us an update. Because when I saw the comment, I'm like, somebody said, Black said she don't get belay again, and I'm wondering. Come on, she's 42. Do you expect her to continue, still playing football right there at that age? And I think it's just high time for her to give chance for other, young players to come to the team. For you, Samson, quick one on maybe hanging up the boat.
Well, I think she deserves a star for what she has done for the Super Falcons. Not too many players around the world, maybe except Martha of Brazil, can boast of a longer career. And, she's been around for 22 years. Fantastic player, the first African player to play at 6 different World Cups. I don't think anyone,
male or female?
Yes. I don't think anyone would be able to repeat that, so soon, even if it does happen, because we are beginning to see young players, new entrants getting to play so quickly for the national team. Maybe we might see that, but will your team qualify for 6 different World Cups?
That's the question.
I do not think so. Now, the thing is, she's been around for some time, and most definitely she has been a stalwart in that team over time. Even there were times when she was picked to be in the team, to be more or less like a pillar for moral support, and of course to be able to put some players right. I think the last World Cup she didn't really play that much, but she was in the team.
She was in the team,
more or less like a mainstay,
a
mouthpiece for the coach to the players, and she did that. She performed to that role exceptionally well. I'm expecting Onome AB to venture into coaching because she has the skills. And she's been, more or less like the mother to all the young players in the team, which are very important. You need to have someone with that figure in the team, without Aura in the team. So I think that's a fantastic one. And when it comes to Nigerian players, athletes who have done so well, living, the scene, I think they are less recognized.
Yeah, just
they
they
are not given the kind of retirement they deserve. Or maybe at least for the last 6 months, some of us, maybe in this quarter, in this field, we know that it was time for her to call it quits.
Yeah.
She knew she was calling it quits, and we were already seeing the signs that she was leaving the stage.
There was no shame in that.
And you know, there's no shame.
There's no shame in that.
She has delivered.
She's delivered over
she
the
gave it
years.
her all.
22
years of football career.
Yeah.
I don't think, not even, most men do not really have a career that long.
That long?
With relevance. You can play for how long,
you
can play for how
I
long
agree
you
with that
care,
statement, that key
but,
statement.
You know,
Relevance.
will you still be relevant after 22 years? Come on,
years.
she still played for the Super Falcons last year.
Yeah.
So that tells you how important she is in the team. And at 42, for a woman, I mean, come on.
Massive.
It's time for her to settle down. Maybe, you know, try to raise a family.
Yes.
Even if she doesn't want to.
But I think it's time.
It's time, most definitely.
Time is ticking.
Time is ticking. And, you know, it's just the law of nature.
Yeah.
We have seen foreign players who actually, you know, hibernated their career for some time, had to put it on hold to have a family and then come back to play football. It's normal, perfectly normal. But she's decided to stay until 22 years, for crying out loud.
Massive.
You know, she would be seen, I know for now, she would have some, you know, friends who are already done with childbearing and the likes. That's not even my point. That's just by design. Some people might decide, oh, I don't want to have a child. And it doesn't matter.
And that's fine.
And that's not your business. They will tell you it's not your business. So it's my thing. I've seen people who said, a woman who said, oh, I don't intend to get married. I don't want to have kids. I just want to live my life.
Who am I to argue with you? It's not my problem.
It's nobody's business.
It's your life.
It's your life.
But
fine.
I think she deserves,
she deserves
a standing
the
ovation.
Yes.
She deserves a national honor.
Yes.
That you know,
Yes.
she's bound out at this stage, especially while the ovation is still loud.
A productive
She had a
bowing out.
productive career.
Yeah.
6 different World Cups.
Massive.
In Africa, even CAF should celebrate on the bed.
Yeah, they should.
The NFF should celebrate. Unfortunately, I don't think they will.
No, something. Okay, so these are the points where most of the time on the show, I'm sure the audience would not feel bad when I want to cut something off, because once it starts with the NFF, we are not going to leave the show.
Do you know that till today, Victoria Setuba, they still celebrate Rashidi Yekini, even till in death. Austin Jeji Okocha, his last birthday, Paris Saint-Germain sent a message. They sent him a gift.
Massive.
That tells you that they have a database. They know, oh, this player tried for us. He was with us for so. Do you know he didn't even spend that much time at PSG?
Yeah.
But today he's being celebrated. If he goes to PSG, fans will be queuing out there to see JJ Okocha come into the stadium. Do we give that same recognition to some of our players? I could remember we had a certain Victor Izeji, just like Pele, who plays for Kano Pillars right now. I'm talking about Rabi Ibrahim, that played all his career in the MPFL. Does he get the kind of recognition he deserves? I don't think so. These are players that should be, you know, celebrated in the MPFL. They are given strategic roles to play so that they still remain relevant and valued in the system. But do we do that here? You will see one man with pot belly who is a farmer being given a role to play in football. Right. I do not explain to me in a way I will understand.
Because they don't keep the history of this thing.
It's not about history. It's about the political will to get things done. These people will not do anything.
I need my producer on me. Thank you, my producer, because like I said, I'm not going to allow something today to talk about sports in Nigeria, because trust me, we're not going to leave the studio if I permit him and Fola to speak on that. Trust me, yesterday someone like Kuntunde and LeBron were here, and I still mentioned Samson Balogun to them, and they kept saying the same thing. Samson would say, let the heads roll, let them leave the office, nobody should be seated at this point in time. But let's move away from that. Let's take more stories and let's look at what Ezekiel Nathaniel is doing with Nigeria. Yes, it becomes the first Nigeria to make a 400-meter hurdles world final since 1987.
No.
That was Henry Ameke. Yeah.
Come on. 1987.
You see.
Something hold on. So, Eastern victory in second semi-final of the men's 400 in Tokyo 2025. World champ clocking 47.47 seconds. Now, hold on, guys. He had the best time on that semi-final lap. Now, nobody was beating that record. That's to show that when it comes to the final, he's most likely to get a gold.
He has the head start ahead of others. he knows he's better than them right now, unless there are issues in the final that might be out of his control. But most definitely with the current timing, if they are to judge who wins at this time, Nathaniel most definitely walks away with the medal, with the gold medal. I think when history is broken, most times in Nigeria, we don't lay more emphasis on the impact and of course what it does to these players. An average European, you find this on all the newspapers right now.
Yes.
Everyone who talks sports will be talking about this because this is national honor. Most definitely, this is also a kind of history being made.
Yes.
He has broken a record.
Yes.
In fact, at a faster pace.
Exactly.
But no, aside from the fact that we spoke about it.
Did personal best.
The
person that came.
So personal best was 47.61. Then the next one, third position was 47.85. So
that was his own personal best.
Come on, I have some. Come on, man.
But then
what are we talking about?
Don't lay emphasis on success.
No.
I think we should learn to do that.
It's why we are here. It's why we are here.
I mean, right about now, I think we could have actually done better. But let's just assume that was just the semi-final. The final is still yet to come. If it then wins, then we can then combine
everything
in the
together
and then in the final,
push, the glorious celebration final. All right, guys, let's move away from that. Let's look at the result for yesterday's game quickly. Let's have that swiftly moving. Yesterday, a fantastic result right there in the UEFA Champions League. Thank you, my producer. These are the games for yesterday. Olympiacos playing against Pavos. The game ended goalless. We have Slavia Prague against Bodo Glimt. The game ended 2-2. We have Ajax against Inter Milan. Marcus Thuram getting on the score sheet with a brace against Ajax. Bayern Munich against Chelsea. Harry Kane with a brace. And Cole Palmer. Trust me, this man is a man for Chelsea. But he could not rescue all. A 3-point or a point right there away from home. Right there against the Allianz Arena. 3-1. Liverpool in clutch time yet again. Samson Balogun. How long are they going to live on a clutching victory? Is the question. And Diego Simeone getting red card in that game. Also, Paris Saint-Germain, getting on the score sheet. Beautiful goal from Nuno Mendes. Kvaratskhelia also getting a fantastic goal right there against Atlanta. Demola Lookman not in the squad. Something quick one and Fola. It's going to take a lot of time, but I'm just going to ask Chelsea's game against Bayern Munich for you. How did you see that game? For Enzo Maresca and Vincent Kompany.
I think
who wanted it more, or was it error?
It's not about who wanted it more. You saw the younger Chelsea showed when they were 2 goals down. They got one, and then the urgency was there. Oh, we want to get another goal. But the truth is, when you set up the wrong way, most definitely you'll be punished. I think Chelsea, set up the wrong way in that game. They did not start on the front foot. Bayern Munich, did way better when it comes to wanting to score goals. And Chelsea could have actually done the same. When you are playing against Bayern Munich and you are too relaxed, you are definitely going to be punished. And that's exactly what happened. They were punished for their mistakes. And by the time they woke up, it was just too much for them to handle. Got a goal. But then they were overstressed and they could not continue with the same pressing. And then they conceded another and it then ended 3-1. So I think Chelsea should maybe practice to play at a stretch. Knowing that this game is not about 40 minutes, it's not 45 minutes, it's a 90-minute game. And then we should end the game the same way we started it. Though they did not start well.
They
should learn to start on the front foot. Don't always wait to contain your opponent and then see if you can hit them on the counter.
But Samson, if you say I learned to start well, you're going to mention a certain Manchester United that this season they've started well and they didn't get the result. Samson, I'm not going to permit you to talk. I just wanted to just make that statement. We're going to take a lot of time here. So guys, let's look at the games for the weekend. The games for today. Let's look at the game. Let's look at the game for today quickly. My president, let's have the games for today. Thank you. There you have a Club Brugge against Monaco, a Copenhagen against Bayer Leverkusen, Frankfurt against Galatasaray. Victor Osimhen is not making the list due to injury, and I'm sure Asamoah Gyan, will be happy right now that at least his mouth should be shut, saying Victor Osimhen, faked the injury not to be part of that game against South Africa. I don't know if you saw that statement. He made a statement saying that, and I'm sure
he said we all do
So we all do this. He didn't play the weekend game. He's not going to play this game in the Champions League because of injury. A big game is going to be Manchester City against Napoli, Newcastle against FC Barcelona, and we are Sporting CP against Carriat. For you, Fola, Manchester City against Liverpool, what's your prediction? Quickly.
Manchester City against Liverpool,
Napoli.
I think. Napoli, Napoli, I think, what's it called? It's going to be most likely a draw. Because, you know, the coming of Manchester City they didn't start this season so well. Yeah. And Napoli they started their own very well. Yeah, good season. And De Bruyne being there showed that I want to win games, and he has been scoring goals. You know, in 3 games he has scored twice. You know, so Napoli coming to Manchester City, I think it's going to be a draw because Manchester City are going to try to prove that we have started playing ball, but I want to say Napoli should win because Napoli's midfield is actually quite strong, and midfield is where they start.
Beautiful.
Well, just like she said, it will be a battle of the midfield. Scott McTominay, Kevin De Bruyne, and of course Haaland, who got a goal 60 minutes into his debut with Napoli, got a goal. It's going to be a festival of goals right there at the Etihad Stadium, and I do believe eventually Manchester City should still be able to win.
All right, quick one, the audience and the sporting family. If you're watching us right now, run your predictions just like we did on Tuesday. And if you get a chance to predict 4 correct games out of the 6 games tonight, you stand a chance to win 5,000 naira on the show. So make sure you tell a friend, tell your friend, tell the enemy to be part of the winnings that we have on Dominion Sport. You have 5,000 naira to win on the show if you predict 4 correctly right there. Also, just like you know, Jose Mourinho is the new manager for Benfica. Life happens. I remember Bruno Lage was the one that kicked him out of the qualifications for the UEFA Champions League against Fenerbahce. But right now, he's taking over the job. Bruno Lage is sacked already from Benfica. And we have Jose Mourinho taking charge of Benfica. Tomorrow is going to be an exciting time to join us because we're going to be looking at the weekend action packed up right here on Dominion Sport. I want to say a big thank you to my producer. Thank you so much for today. Also, the crew, a big thank you to you. Fola Yegbe, welcome back. Good to have you back on the show. Samson Balogun, the official captain himself, thank you for coming back on the show, and it's good to have you. A big thank you to everybody that watched us today, but please make sure you comment, make sure you drop a comment, make sure you share, make sure you like, and make sure you subscribe to Dominion Sports, Dominion Television, your channel of choice. I am Paul Abetoluwanimi. I'm going to see you again tomorrow. Have a wonderful day.